Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 34 of the Playoff Push podcast. I'm your host, Jack Dobbins, and today I'm joined by a very special guest, former Pennington running back and soon to be UAlbany running back, Keon Kenner. How are we tonight?
Good, man. How we doing, man?
It's a great time. It's a great night. It's about time we finally got the Zoom working, right?
I know it took forever, man. I'm excited to be here, though. Let's get it. Let's do
Of
it.
course, of course. So, Keon, a menace on the football field, an absolute truck of a halfback. I have to do a little glaze for a second. But, of course, heading over to UAlbany. So, my first question is, why did UAlbany stand out to you over your other offers, such as BC and the military academies?
So originally, UAlbany wasn't really recruiting me like early in my recruiting process, and then when I was kind of a sophomore going into my junior year, I kind of had my eyes on certain things that I wanted as far as like conferences, like styles of coaching and stuff like that. And when I started getting older and like getting more offers and stuff like that, it's kind of like my perspective on just playing college football kind of shifted just off of like being at Pennington and just like having that kind of mature aspect. And so like when I first went on my official visit to UAlbany, I wasn't really thinking, I didn't know much of it. I wasn't really thinking too much into it. And then when I went, it kind of just aligned with everything that I wanted on my checklist without me even realizing it. And then it became like I had to go over a few times before I knew like, okay, I'm going to commit here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Because me personally, like the military wasn't really something that I was interested in
Yeah,
originally.
the
Um,
commitment's kind of a lot.
yeah, it was a lot. So I was like, whoa, for a second. But then for a while, I liked the thought of it. But then it ended up being like I had a whole different perception of everything. And then UAlbany just was like a place I knew that I can make a difference at, and not just be another number somewhere else. So we got some good guys there now, and I feel as though a couple other kids, we got a few nationally ranked kids there now.
Ooh.
So we talked about it, like they feel the same way. I feel as though just having a place where you can make a difference immediately.
Yeah, totally. I believe I saw that you were the highest ranked running back they ever got. Is that accurate?
Yeah, highest rated high school recruit running back.
That's pretty
So
sick. That's a good
I'm
flex.
I'm excited, man. I'm ready to see what it's like to play against Iowa week 1. So I'm trying to get
Oh
prepared
boy,
for that.
that's gonna
So
be fun. Big Ten
yeah,
action right early on.
I know, man. Cooper DeJean school. I gotta show out. I gotta show out against them, man.
That sounds good to me. So, of course, you play halfback. You're huge. What does your typical week of training look like during the season, and how does it change in the off season?
In season, it's very much a little bit different than off season because in season, obviously, like being a running back, you're getting banged up a lot, like way more than any other position. So, you're hurting and stuff like that. So for me personally, less of lifting in the ratio and more of recovery and stuff like that. So I'll probably go like 40% lifting, 60% recovery.
Okay.
And I'll do kind of minor stuff like stuff that's not too heavy, squats that's not, gonna break your knees and stuff to
Yeah,
do. But like
exactly.
it just all
No
depends
Saquon
on.
level squats mid-season.
Yeah, don't say quite level squats after play against the Hill School or something like.
No,
But
exactly.
um just like making sure that your body is okay. I feel like that's the most important thing for running backs right now because it's a lot of running backs. People don't really talk about it, but it's a lot of running backs who don't get to make it to these next levels because of like how bad they do get banged up and stuff like that.
Oh,
And if you
100%.
look at like Christian McCaffrey and stuff like that, like if you actually like pay attention to him, like the one thing that he does more than anything else is recover his body after every game. So that's just something that I want to like embody for myself. And like Derrick Henry does it too. So like that's really the key to being a successful running back. So that's what I need to be locked in on it, man.
Yeah, I totally agree. You named, two of the best running backs of the 21st century right there. So I actually
Yeah.
think that segues perfectly into my next question. And that is, if you had to compare your playing style to an NFL running back, who do you think it would be and why?
That's a great question. Um, I think that I honestly have like a mix of a couple different running backs in
Okay.
one. I
Who we
feel
doing?
like I feel like the main running back that kind of shaped my running style originally was Marshawn Lynch, but
Okay.
then I feel as though like when my body started to change in certain type of ways, and I learned how to like use it differently. I feel like it kind of shifted into different categories of like sometimes like just certain things like stiff arms. I would say like Derrick Henry style,
Oh yeah.
um, like like vision. I would say sometimes like Le'Veon Bell. I would have like some things of that, but overall, I would say I would play more balanced like Marshawn Lynch. I would say.
I like
What would you
that.
say? What would you say?
Oh boy. I mean, to be fair, I've only watched you play in what, like probably 6 or 7 games, I'd say. Most of them were
Yeah,
this past year. That game against Notre Dame was something else, man. That
yeah,
was
that was fun.
that was
That was
crazy.
that was fun.
I don't know. I'd have to really think about it. Usually I don't get the questions turned back on me, so I don't come
Yeah,
prepared with responses.
I know.
That's
I
kind of
don't know,
funny.
man.
Yeah,
I don't want to say Saquon, but like I don't know. Like it's
yeah.
people refer to me as like little Saquon Barkley, but I don't think me and him play that much similar. I think I got like an old school type of play style, like I like 2000, like 2010 type of
Yeah.
play.
I think the main difference between you and Saquon is you're much more run heavy. Like you weren't as involved in say the pass game as
Yeah,
Saquon is. Like Saquon, he's arguably hurts his wide receiver too. I mean,
yeah,
like it's crazy. Like he gets the ball all the time, but you're just like Presty or Cannon hands you the ball, and you're just going right up the gut, and you're getting them.
yeah. Exactly. So I yeah, it's different, man. But yeah, I don't know. That those questions always that's a good question. Those questions always get me.
Yeah, it's fun. It's like kind of like not as normal. Just a fun
Yeah,
little interesting question.
yeah. No, that's
So,
good.
yeah. So when it comes to being a running back, my next question is, what's like your favorite part of playing running back? Is it trucking someone? Is it stiff arming? What's like your favorite part?
So it's this feeling that you get when you're getting the ball and you're reading the blockers and like you're no matter if you're going full speed already or you're like going in slow motion or whatever the case is, you're not running as fast. The moment where you realize that you've broken into the second level and it's like that point where you're getting chased down
You're just
and
like,
you're
oh
about to
boy, here
score
we
a
go.
touchdown, yeah, I would argue that's the one of the best feelings in the world because it's like you got so much adrenaline going through your bones and you just know like especially if you're like you did that before over and over again, like this is a touchdown or like thank God, like finally. And it's just like 4 to 5 seconds of just like pure adrenaline that just feels good. Like it's like pure dopamine that you get. I would
Oh
say like
yeah.
that's my favorite part about playing running back. But the games where like that doesn't happen, like say if you play a game and you don't get a crazy breakout run like that, those games to me personally, they aren't that fun. But it just depends on
You got to get at
how.
least one rush, right?
Yeah, you got to get at least one rush a game. Like to me, if I don't get one rush a game, then if I don't get two rushes a game, to me, I don't say it. I don't really have a good game from that. But I think that's the funnest part about it, especially if you're playing like if you're, oh my gosh, if you like scoring 4 to 5 times a game, like that's beautiful.
I mean, I bet it is. I mean, and you guys did a lot of scoring this year. I mean, if I remember right, I think you averaged over probably 100 rushing yards a game. Sure sounds like it to me. Maybe even higher than that. Probably north of like 120, 130.
Yeah, I think I had 90 carries on the season for like I don't know if it was 1,400 or 1,500.
Yeah, you probably had like 220 against
So
Notre Dame alone.
yeah, that oh my gosh, that Notre Dame game was just so fun to play and like that atmosphere was just
On
crazy.
their own senior night and just boom, boom, boom.
Oh my gosh, like those games like that, those night games. I always tell people that's my favorite types of games to play in. Like when you're just playing against a school and it's like the sun is setting and it's warm, it's not too hot, it's not too cold, and you can wear whatever you want and you can just play. I always say that that's why I feel as though I play football for that those feelings like that, like just to enjoy those things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally. 100%. 110%.
Yeah, this it's crazy. Like that game was crazy.
It sure was one heck of a game. Speaking about, all that dopamine and adrenaline stuff, football is, just as much of a mental game as it is a physical game. Is there a certain way you prepare for a game, especially if it's against a hard opponent?
Um, music, music all the time.
Okay.
I'll wake up in the morning if we have to be at a certain place at 10 o'clock. Excuse me. If we have to be at a certain place at like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, I'll be listening to music from like 6 a.m. in the morning,
Sounds
like
good
all
to
day,
me.
like just a whole playlist of music. I won't take the headphones off. I always try to like lock in very early, which to some people is like that. That's like everybody is different. Some people is unnecessary, but for me, like I've been doing it since I was literally a baby. Like I've been playing football since I was 3 years old. So then that's all I always had headphones on. Like people would tell you, always listen to music. Like so early mornings, I always just would be having headphones on, and I'll never be unlocked until after the game. And so that's how I played, every game. Like some games I try to switch it up and I try to like, see if it was other things that would make me play good before I got to college and like the risk was higher. So like sometimes I like it was a game I played, I was like playing around and stuff like that. Like I wasn't really like I tried a different task. I try to like not worry about the game that much and just play. Which that's good too, but I feel as though like when you got something that's good and works, like you got to stick to it.
Oh, 100%. I mean, whether it's considered a superstition or not, I don't know. But I mean, music, there's nothing better to hype you up, right?
Yeah, oh my gosh, the music when you got a whole playlist just dedicated, and my playlist is like years and years of just pregame football music.
Accumulation, just over and
Yeah,
over.
so you put it on shuffle, it's just like, oh my gosh,
Oh, yeah.
you're locked, bro. You super locked. Like,
Little sub question here. So in baseball, you have a walkout song. Like if you're going to the plate, you have a walkout song and it plays. And same thing for the pitchers. Like when they come out of the bullpen, they have like Hell's Bells is a classic one. If
mhm.
you had to pick one song when you were being announced for the game, what would it be? And
Chief
there's
Keith Finetto. Chief Keith Finetto. I already knew what you was going to ask. I didn't want to cut you off. I already knew you was going to ask. Chief Keith Finetto every time. That's my bro. If I was John Cena coming out in WWE, I would literally have Chief Keith Finetto coming out in WWE going ring to ring, jumping the ropes and
that was
everything.
like automatic
Like, that's the first song I play of the day. Like every game, that's the first song
every
I play.
time.
Every time. Like for years and years and years and years. Like it's crazy.
That is so
That's my
funny.
go-to. That's my go-to.
That's great. No, I mean that's a classic in my workout playlist. It's a staple. Like I have the same playlist and I generally have like the same cue practically every day. But like there's so many songs here that are just like classics for me. Like like Before the Morning by See Through Rio is like one of the hardest
Mhm.
guitars. Oh my God, it's
That's hard.
so
That's hard. That's
disgusting.
hard. That's hard. That's hard. Pre-workout for that is hard. I'm
Oh
not going
yeah.
to
Oh
twist.
yeah. That
That's a
was a
good
good. It
twist.
was a good workout today for me. It was back in Bida, so it was very good. I took Broad's workout schedule.
What did he have you doing? What did he have you doing?
No, he's like because I didn't start getting into working out until like this March, like last year I mean. So he was like, oh, you should do like a push day and a pull day and then legs and then core and stuff. And I was like, okay. And so today was pull day and it was a very very good pull day at that.
Yeah, bro, he be having some crazy workouts. He be having in his arsenal. I'm not gonna lie.
Like as a team or
Like by himself. He be working out by himself, and he be having a lot of because he had a lot of different trainers and stuff that he told me he worked with. So
yeah.
he got a lot of like knowledge with like the push and pull stuff, and he was like bulking for a while too. So
Yeah, he
yeah,
takes it
that's why I
serious.
was
Like one time he was, at the gym and he did I think he did pull day and then it was like 11 o'clock at night and he's like, all right, you guys want to do triceps and chest? And we're like, what?
what at 11 o'clock was that at what's it called, the neck?
The knack one was the first one, but it was just at his house and he was like, you guys want to go down and hit chest? And I was like, bro, it's 11 at night.
He's crazy, yo. I can't.
Oh my God. That's my guy. That's my guy.
Yeah, bro's a dog. He's a dog.
Oh yeah, you know it. So, of course, that Pennington team, you were named a captain this past year. And what did it mean to have that role, to embrace that leadership, both on and off the field for such a young team?
For me, it was very natural because every team I've been on since I was a kid, role I've had, I kind of been the same. I always tell people like the type of captain I am is very like orthodox to like how a captain is supposed to be, and like coaches will tell you that. But I'm more of just a person where I'm like I'm going to lead by example. Like I'm not going to. I have such a weird way of being a captain, but I feel as though my team really like they adjusted to me and they didn't really like look at me different for it. Like I wasn't very vocal. I wasn't very like I held you accountable without saying stuff. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I'm that type of captain. So like I think it really came natural. I think it helped us win more games because the standards was more high. That I feel as though I put like when we would lose a game, I would show certain emotions where you knew that like the situation was more serious than just like us going out here just playing football for no reason. So like stuff like that, I feel like that made people, get a little bit more motivated than what they were before. And as far as like being in like the weight room and just workouts and stuff like that, I feel like just showing up all the time, um, being the one that's people can count to be there. I feel like that made like a lot of people respect the game for themselves and like also respect me as a captain.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this team is young, so they need all the leadership they can get. And I think you and Brode and Presty and Frank did such a great job with that last year. Even though I wasn't there for, the workouts and stuff, I could tell from the way it was on the field that these guys really, were getting great leadership from you guys. It was really impressive.
Right. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. It definitely was a lot of hard work.
No, I bet it was. I bet it was.
They
Coach
some
Bach, don't go
knuckleheads.
easy.
They some knuckleheads, man.
But they're some good knuckleheads, that's for sure. How do you
Yeah,
think the future of this team's going with all these young guys, especially with all these guys getting offers? I'm getting my feed flooded with all these, like UNCs and stuff, and I'm like, are you serious?
bro. These kids are spoiled, These kids are spoiled. Like it's crazy. Like the program is definitely in good hands. Like they this year's the 25s, me, Pressy, Brody, Frank, Jack Firmo, all the guys,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
our Georgia school guys and stuff, everybody, like I feel as though we really made a dynamic of like turning over a new leaf for the Pennington football. Like starting with me and Presty, I feel as though like we kind of like went through those trials and tribulations, and now I feel as though we took all the hard stuff, like all the obstacles and stuff that the program had to face in the early stages, and now it's kind of just like we pushed the snow down the hill, and now it's like an avalanche. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, no, that's a great analogy.
So,
I like that.
so yeah, so now I feel as though like to see it is beautiful. Like, and Presty will tell you too. Like to really see it is like wow. Like sometimes I still be like shocked myself. I'll see certain stuff like certain offers or like stuff like that. I was like, whoa, like that's crazy. But like, I kind of always knew that the program was going to be like that. It just really took a lot of hard work and stress to get there. So I'm glad that we finally got it there. And I feel as though now, it's no way that it goes the other way. You know what I'm saying? I
Oh,
feel as though
100%.
it can only go up from here with like, especially with all the kids that Coach Mike's is getting and all the networks that our kids or our young guys have with their teammates and like other kids that want to come and play at Pennington now. Especially like with people knowing how good the school itself is and parents and stuff like that. I feel like it's no way the program can flip upside down.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, there were so many games this year where they were just absolute beatdowns. And so much so that even guys like, the captains, like you guys, were pulled from the games. And the younger guys were able to just step in and just play as productively as they possibly could and still put so many points on the board. It really is impressive what you guys did to that program, totally flipping on its head.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. But it's definitely on the up and rising. So, just tune in, man. It's a movie. I'm not gonna lie. Like we
Yeah.
done did so much stuff behind the scenes where now it's really nothing to it but to just watch.
Yeah. And the Maple's not an easy league either. Not at all.
Yeah, yeah. Maple is slept on. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of slept on the Maple myself. Um, but then the Maple, I feel like just as much as Pennington football changed, or in that like slight little time period, I feel like the other head coaches at the other schools realized like, okay, like this is the new era of it, and they immediately started adjusting their players and like their recruiting to kind of like compete with what Coach Mike was trying to do. And so they were getting kids that was like had all these D1 offers and stuff like that. So we were playing kids. I'm thinking like, oh, this is the old like Petty School. This is the old, Blase Blase. It's the old Hill School and stuff like that. And like these kids that have 7, 8 D1 offers, 9,
No,
10 D1 offers.
exactly.
It's like, whoa, what about political? Oh, snap. Like, it's kind of surprising. But now that's the new norm in the Maple League. And that's
Yeah,
another thing that I feel as though me and Presty originally getting there, like, we set a tone for that because we kind of like ran through the Maple League our first year, just being at Pendleton and like as the boarding football players there. So, like, I feel as though that was another thing that came along with changing our program was like changing the conference of our program too.
yeah.
So,
It developed with you guys, right?
yeah, so it's crazy, but like the whole Maple League is just competition now. Like it's very comp now because a lot of kids are going to those schools not just for education, but like they know they want to go play, football at the highest levels, and they want to go
Exactly.
play college football, and like so kids are just going to those schools from anywhere now. You know what I'm saying?
Because now that these teams have all those guys, they're getting scouts to come and they're like, oh, wait, if I go to this school, I can get seen earlier.
Yeah, and even like the coaches will be coming from places where you wouldn't even expect. Like the Petty School head coach, he was the coach at Columbia.
Wow. I didn't know
Yeah,
that. That's crazy.
he
Really?
was a coach at Columbia. Yeah, like he was really in at coaching at Columbia for years and years and years,
Holy
and then
cow.
he just went to Petty and just became the head coach there. So like his networking was just like, I mean, he came in and he immediately got like, I mean, this year he had a 6'7" quarterback with like 8 D1 offers or something. Like like it's just he has the college mindset. You can tell if the measurements he go for. You can tell if the type of D lineman he recruits, the type of quarterbacks he recruits. Like it's just stuff like that where like you realize like okay, this league is starting to be. They're like the if the coaches are starting to catch on to this, then like once the players start to always get there, then it's really you can tell the what it's going to be like in a couple years.
Yeah,
So
totally. 100%. And speaking about, the whole offer thing. I mean, if you had one piece of advice to give other athletes going through the recruiting process, what would it be? Because, especially at my school, a lot of guys for baseball and stuff like that are really trying to get looks. What's the best way to do so?
this is going to sound very, very cliche, but the one thing that I wish I would have told myself earlier is just don't sit around and wait for things to come to you. Like go take the opportunities, go camp, go text those coaches on Twitter all day, every day. Go like because you can look in the mirror and tell yourself that you're doing these things because you texted a coach one time this month, or you texted a coach 2 times this month, and you feel as though he didn't text me back, so I'm not good. Um, that's just not true because the way that the college recruitment is, like how it is now, is just like it doesn't matter who's good and who's not good. It's just who's in whose face. And so, and I know this from actual coaches. Like coaches actually tell me it's like it's 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 not about evaluating film anymore. It's just about connections. It's networking and stuff like that. So when you're on Twitter and when you're sending out your film, like you need to always be the top person that they're seeing, or you need to be a name that's kind of annoying because it's like at least they remember your name. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, I feel as though a lot of people that I've seen in just like my different places and playing in all these different settings, it's like people expect somebody else to get something for them, but you know, they're not really doing it for themselves yet, or they're not really doing it. And for everybody, it's only a certain percentage of people who get to play college football. So, or like college sports in general. So, like for everybody, obviously, it's not going to have the same outcome of things. So, everybody can't just wait around and get, an offer or a scholarship somewhere. Some people might got a text, or some people might got to call somebody, or some people might got to, hit up their friend's dad that knows somebody, and like
Yeah, yeah.
so don't be afraid to like get out there and do that, because that's the things that paid off. And for me, like I seen that personally for myself, like that paid off for me. And if you feel as though you're not good to get something, you'll be shocked when you do get it, because like I didn't feel like I was good enough to get offers at a point in time. And I was shocked when I started getting offers just based off of one simple mindset switch that I had of like not waiting around anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally. I think it's less than 10% of high school athletes that go on to play in college. So just any way you're able to get out there, I mean, any publicity is good publicity, with a couple exceptions, but in most cases, just getting in those coaches' face, you think that really works?
Yeah, yeah, man. Like, don't be scared to compete. Go camp. Go play against people. Go get out there because the worst thing that can happen to you is, yeah, you get embarrassed, but go to the next camp. Go to the next place where
It's more motivation.
yeah, and go to these mega camps like to really give you game. Go to these mega camps. Don't just go to this one, Clemson football camp out South Carolina or whatever, and that's it. Or you didn't get offered there or whatever. Go to these mega camps where it's 30, 40 different schools there that's at, Mercyhurst or something like that, and like go ball out there and get multiple eyes on you. Like you gotta use strategies for this type of stuff because a lot of these camps they could be money grabbing if you're not using it for your money properly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally. 110%. And I mean, just if you want to go play sports in college, I mean, by all means, you need to, fully commit to it. You're not going to get stuff that just comes to you freely. You got to put in the work and you got to put in the effort and let people know that you're serious about it because those scholarships aren't handed out all that nicely.
Yeah, exactly. And it's getting way more harder now to, get these scholarships. Like even, they're cutting walk-ons now and the rosters is
Yeah,
is
yeah, I did see
depleting.
that.
Like the roster is depleting, cut in half. Like it's really it's getting way more harder to, get these scholarships at every level and it trickles down all the way to JUCO. And it's bad. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really hard. And I see people out here every day. Like I'm at home right now. I see people all the time that they literally don't get to see any opportunities at all. Like nothing. Like you don't like it's people who you get, you got a junior college invite and like that's good. Like appreciate what you got because it's people that the system affects everybody. So it's harder for everybody. So understand that you may be a freshman or maybe a sophomore, or maybe a junior, and you got some time, but you don't got a lot of time because it goes by so fast. And with everything being much harder and low percentages, it makes your time go by way faster. So that's what I would say.
I totally agree. I think those are great points. Everyone, trying to get recruited, I think you should really take that to heart and just work on yourself. Keon, it was great. I have one final question for you, all right? And this one's about you, all right? So,
Uh,
how has your game evolved in recent years, and how do you think it will continue to evolve as you head into some D1 football?
oh my god! All right, this last question I gotta go out with a banger right now. So I'm gonna hit you with. So my game originally I'm gonna start from 2020. My game from 2020 was terrible. It was like anything north, anything north of where I'm at right now was terrible. I'm going to speak on this because I know other athletes might go through this, and it's one of the worst phases to ever be put in as an athlete, as a person. Do not be in delusion about your talent. Do not be in delusion about the work that you're putting in because I was in delusion about the work that I was putting in, and I was in delusion about how talented I was. I always felt as though, you know, I had enough talent to, cut corners and not look in the mirror fully. I was bad at just being accountable, like holding myself to a certain standard. And that made me way less of a good player that I could have been. And so when I've got to Pennington, like before I got to Pennington, honestly, like when I was at Frankfort High School, I kind of realized that's when I started to look in the mirror and I was just like, wow, like number one, I was a 260-pound running back. So that was already like, whoa.
Holy
And
cow.
and so like I had to understand, like, bro, like this is not gonna work. Like you gotta really lock in. So when I went to Pennington and I transferred, which was one of the also reasons why I transferred was because I knew I just needed a new page. So I
Yeah.
transferred and I just locked in from there. And like you gotta be willing to just sacrifice a lot of stuff to like put yourself on that level, on that pedestal. And it takes time. And so I feel as though I never arrived, but I feel as though I was at 10% when in that 2020 year, and now I'm at like a good 60%. And I feel as though now going into D1 football now, I feel as though like I'm excited because I have played against good competition my whole life. I played against these type of guys that played on these type of teams. I played against these guys before. So I'm excited and I stacked myself up against those competitions. Like I'm excited, but at the same time, I'm more motivated than ever because I know that, for everybody, um, like you only get one shot at what you're doing, honestly. Like you can't really look for a second shot at anything. So like I'm trying to just really be very very, very cautious with my opportunity right now. I'm trying to really prepare so highly so like I can over prepare instead of being underprepared and being at a certain oh my god. See that iPad, bro. I don't know how to silence
You're good, man. You're good.
it. but yeah, so I really want to be over prepared. I really want to go and play. I want to be fresh on All American. I want to just hit the road running, and I want to be able to get to 100%. And now I can't hold myself to that low standard anymore. I got to put myself at a high standard and expect more out of myself. And to the guys out there that want to be successfully, I want to be make it to the pros, and you want to be the best businessman you ever want to be in the country and stuff like that. You gotta hold yourself accountable, and that's what a lot of people in this world don't do. We don't hold ourselves accountable, and I'm victim to it. It's one of the worst diseases that you can put yourself through. So be honest with yourself so you can get to the point where you're at. And nothing feels better than when you're at that point and you know that you're honestly at that point. You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
No,
So
exactly.
I think Drake said something like, it's real when you are who you think you are. Like that's real, bro. Like that's really real. Yeah, that's what I would say, man, for my last question, man. Like honestly, I'm excited. We got some good guys coming in. It's a good running backs in this program, good coaches. And I feel as though, UAlbany is really is we gonna be on the map, man. Like
Oh yeah.
we got a lot of good players coming in this class. I think we got one of the I think we got, if not the top class, including the transfer portal, I think we got a tie of like the best class ever in UAlbany because we got like four nationally ranked players.
That's big,
Um,
man. That's big.
so I hope it's good, man. We got some good guys from the portal too. So you know, look out, man. And hopefully I'll be playing at Iowa week 1, man. Trying to get my revenge on Cooper DeJean.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You got a big three-headed Hydra coming in to begin the year. You got Iowa, then heading over to Delaware State to face head coach Djax, and then you got Cornell in game 3. So a
Yeah,
big three-headed monster to head into that freshman year.
yeah, man. I gotta get my lick on DJ too, man. 'Cause it's crazy, man. Being DJ, man. I gotta tell him, man. I gotta see him, man. I gotta
Bro's
see him.
stunting on all the birds today.
Oh my god. But no, I appreciate you like having me on here,
Of
man.
course,
Definitely.
man, always.
You like what you do, man. I'm a fan of it, man. Like your podcast, everything, your interviews. Like I'm truly honored to be on here. I didn't think you was gonna hit me up for it, so I'm,
Yeah, I
I'm,
really
I'm
appreciate it, man. I mean, you're the first high school I've ever had on the show, I have to say.
oh, that's crazy,
Oh
yo.
yeah.
Like that's crazy. Like I'm definitely honored, man. Like I gotta. I was talking about it all day. Like yo, I gotta be on time for this. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. So
Yeah, we got a few coming up too. A few of my Ghost boys, hopefully getting Ace on soon, who's our basketball player. He's good friends with Jordan. So
oh, all right, okay, okay.
yeah. So we'll see when it heads up. But that's gonna be it here from episode 34 of the Playoff Push podcast. Once again, thank you, Keon, so much for hopping on with me. And that will be it here once again. I'm Jack Dobbins, and have a great rest of your day.